question that probably some of you are thinking of if you're totally into that world, which I find to be very interesting. So, supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light.
What?
And
No.
That has an ejector.
No, it'll blow apart your DNA. It'll overwhelm the mutation fixing enzymes. It's like cause cancer. No, the bacteria will be fine, but you'll be dead. Or of cancer.
Injection inside
God, God. That's what we used to treat cancer because there's nothing else that you could do. I'm not a doctor, as you possibly have found out. I'm not a doctor, but I'm a person with common sense. I'm not a doctor, but I have common sense. There are promising therapies. And that would be it's called remdesivir. I don't want to get anybody overly excited, but I'm very excited by that. So you have remdesivir, and you have chloroquine, and some people would add to it hydroxychloroquine.
That's a drug that the president has directed us to take a closer look at. We want to do that in the setting of a clinical trial, a large, pragmatic clinical trial.
And I say, try it. Take it. I really think they should take it. In fact, I might do it anyway. I may take it. I've seen things that I sort of like, so what do I know? I'm not a doctor. I'm not acting as a doctor. I'm saying, do what you want. Hydroxychloroquine and the Z-Pak, I think, is a combination, probably is looking very, very good.
I'm not totally sure what the president was referring to. If you really want to definitively know if something works, that you've got to do the kind of trial that you get the good information.
Why should we be testing it in a test tube for a year and a half when we have thousands of people that are very sick? The vaccine does have to be tested for a long period of time because you can't give, thousands, millions of people a vaccine and it turns out to be dangerous. It's tested in the sense that you know it doesn't kill you.
What we don't know is when you put it in the context of another disease, whether it's safe. Fundamentally, I think it probably is going to be safe, but I like to prove things first.
I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying we hear great results. I really think it's a great thing to try, just based on what I know. Again, I'm not a doctor. And zinc, they say zinc. You should add zinc. So you add the zinc.
Dr. Fauci said there is no magic drug for coronavirus right now, which you would agree.
I disagree. Maybe and maybe not. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I feel good about it. That's all it is, just a feeling. I'm a smart guy. I feel good about it. I like this stuff. I really get it. People are surprised that I understand it. When somebody is very sick, they go to a doctor, go to a hospital, they record it, they're very sick, and then they live or they don't live. The people that are sick are going to a doctor or they're going someplace and they're going to say, make me better. Every one of these doctors said, how do you know so much about this? When you look at these hospitals, the amount that they order, you almost say, how could they possibly use so much, whether it's masks or the protective gear? Why aren't they able to use that mask a second, third, fourth time? If you take a solid flu vaccine, you don't think that would have an impact or much of an impact on corona?
No. Probably not.
There's a study out there that says people that have lupus haven't been catching this virus. No, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Young people seem to be, you can't say immune to it, but they're certainly, the numbers are very small. We're ordering a lot of supplies. We're ordering a lot of different elements of medical. I think they're going to start the process of giving the drug through mouth. We're going to continue. It's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear. And from our shores, it could get worse before it gets better. It could maybe go away. We'll see what happens. Nobody really knows. That's pretty powerful.
I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me. And I say it, what do you have to lose? I'll say it again, what do you have to lose? Take it. I really think they should take it. But it's their choice, and it's their doctor's choice or the doctors in the hospital. But hydroxychloroquine, try it if you'd like. So Obama's always talking about the global warming. That global warming is our biggest and most dangerous problem, okay? Think of it. So Obama's talking about all of this with the global warming and that, and a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay? It's a hoax, a lot of it. If you have a windmill anywhere near your house, congratulations. Your house just went down 75% in value. And they say the noise causes cancer. You told me that one, okay? You know, the thing makes it so...
Because I have a very good brain and I've said a lot of things.
Don't be threatening. Be nice. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. What a stupid question that is. Keep your voice down, please.
You've said repeatedly that you think that some of the equipment that governors are requesting, they don't actually need. You said New York might not need 30,000. You said it on Sean Hannity's Fox News. You said that
why don't you people act? Let me ask you.
You said
why
some
don't
states.
Why don't you act in a little more positive? It's always trying to
My
get
question to you
get
is-
get you. And you know what? That's why nobody trusts the media anymore.
My
That's
question
why
to you is,
people,
how is that gonna
excuse
impact?
me, you didn't hear me. That's why you used to work for the Times and now you work for somebody else. Look, let me tell you something. Be nice. Don't
Mr.
be
President, my
threatening.
question
Don't
is-
be threatening. Be nice.
Jared Kushner said the notion of the federal stockpile was it's supposed to be our stockpile. It's not supposed to be state stockpiles that they then use. What did he mean by our?
Oh, why didn't you ask him?
And
I mean,
even the fact that taxpayers from
What's that?
every
I got
state
you.
pays
I got
for
you.
it.
It's such a basic, simple question, and you try and make it sound so bad. You ought to be. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know what? You ought to be ashamed. You just asked your question in a very nasty tone.
The Paycheck Protection Program has gotten off to a confusing start for small
I don't think
businesses
so. I think it's
because
done very well.
Wells Fargo has stopped taking applications. Bank of America
Not
initially
anymore, they haven't.
prioritized taking applications from clients that were already
Bank of
borrowers.
America. I wish you'd ask the question differently. Why don't you say it's gotten off to a tremendous start, but there are some little glitches, which, by the way, have been worked out. It would be so much nicer if you do that. But you're just incapable of asking a question
Sir, what
in a
oversight
positive
measures-
way. It's such a positive event, and you ask it in such a negative way. It just, I wish we had a fair media in this country, and we really don't.
We're angry because information about the virus should have been told to us earlier and a lot sooner. People knew it was happening, and people did not want to talk about it. Many Americans are saying the exact same thing about you, that you should have warned them the virus was spreading like wildfire through the month of February instead of holding rallies with thousands of people. Why did you wait so long
Who are you
to
with?
warn them?
Who are you with?
And why did you
Yeah.
not have social distancing until March 16th?
Who are you with?
I'm Weijia Jiang with CBS News.
So, if you look at what I did in terms of cutting off or banning China from coming in.
Chinese nationals. But by the way, not Americans who are also
Nice
coming
and
from
easy.
China.
Nice and easy.
You acknowledge that you didn't think
Keep
it
your
was
voice
going
down,
to
please.
spread?
Keep your voice down.
Did you not
How
think it
many?
was going
How
to
many?
spread?
How many cases were in the United States? I did a ban where I'm closing up the entire country. How many people died?
And that's a fair point.
How many people died in the United States? And yet I closed up the country, and I believe there were no deaths, 0 deaths at the time I closed up the country. Nobody was there. And you should say thank you very much for good judgment.
Do you want him to rein in Robert Mueller?
What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions. Sit down, please. Sit down. I didn't call you. I didn't call you. I didn't call you. I'll give you voter suppression. Excuse me, I'm not responding to you. I'm talking to this gentleman. Will you please sit down? Same thing with April Ryan. I watch her get up. I mean, you talk about somebody that's a loser. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. Question? Yeah, go ahead. Sure. She's shocked that I picked her.
No.
She's like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
What do you say to Robert Mueller? He says that you're lying from your
Let me just tell you something. I know you always have a question. You mean my White House aides lied? What about his aides? What about Mueller's aides? He didn't say that at all. You're untruthful when you ask. You are untruthful when you ask that question. When you ask that question, you're untruthful. And if you were ever truthful, you'd be able to write the truth.
On the campaign trail, you called yourself a nationalist. Some people saw that as emboldening white nationalists. Now people are also
I don't
saying
know why you'd
that
say
the
that.
president.
That's such a racist
There are
question.
some people that say that now the Republican Party is seen as supporting white nationalists
Oh, I
because
don't
of your
believe
rhetoric.
that. I don't
What do
believe
you make
that.
of that?
I don't believe it. That's such a racist question. Honestly, I mean, I know you have it written down and you're going to tell me. Let me tell you, it's a racist question.
And Miss,
Excuse me, but to say that, what you said, is so insulting to me. It's a very terrible thing that you said.
I guess at this point I'm numb to it. It's been 2 years of the same thing, but now it's open. It's openly said by the President of the United States. You know, there's been efforts to silence me in the briefing room. There have been efforts to discredit me.
My daughter is an RN, a real
Hey, go take your picture.
and she got her RN degree. Are you guys RNs? Do you have a degree? Why aren't you in the hospitals? You're overrun. We can't find people to help. Why are you even here? Disgusting! Absolutely disgusting. I will pray for your soul and yours and yours and yours. Shame on you. Liars. Shameful. Disgusting.
Don't be afraid.
Did they cite you first, or did they just put you in handcuffs?
This is America.
Did they cite you first, or did they just put you in handcuffs?
They didn't cite me, no.
So they just put you in handcuffs?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the government code?
Come on.
No.
Come on, please.
No.
What happened to the oath?
No. These guys are trying to threaten me.
Guys, I have a permit. I mean, just cover it up. Just we're gonna go across the street.
You don't have a right to detain him, do you? Without that, hey, let's do this. Let him show his permit. He's not gonna pull out a gun on you. Let him show his permit.
Guys, I have a permit.
Hey, I didn't even ask him if he had a permit.
You should be fighting for his rights.
I have a permit. Yeah, why don't you go arrest the criminal scum? Why don't you go arrest the criminal scum taking everyone's rights? Cowards! You guys are cowards! Exactly my point.
They didn't care about them. The other money
Governor Cooper, let my barber go!
kids to respect the police, to respect you guys, to respect first responders. Not anymore, because the only response you have is to your paychecks.
I am afraid of reopening right now.
Let us work! Let us work!
Of course it's dangerous. It's dangerous for us, it's dangerous for the healthcare workers, it's dangerous for the immunocompromised, and it's dangerous for North Carolinians.
USA! USA!
I'm here to represent my patients, I'm here to represent my fellow healthcare workers, and I'm here to represent the rest of North Carolina.
I just still feel like it's important for us to continue to shelter in place and practice social distancing because our lives depend on it.
Cooper's gotta go!
Cooper's gotta go!
Cooper's gotta go! Cooper's gotta go!
I came out here today to send a very clear message to the legislators that we do not need to reopen NC. We need to keep NC closed, and we need to continue to flatten the curve. We aren't through it yet. If we were to reopen now, we would see a resurgence. It would overwhelm the healthcare system, and it would put the vulnerable in our communities at risk.
Are you concerned, though, that people coming out in protest are going to spread COVID to other people? They're congregating in ways that health experts have said they should not.
No, these are people expressing their views. I see where they are, and I see the way they're working. They seem to be very responsible people to me.
Reopening prematurely puts a lot of people at risk. It puts our immunocompromised members of our communities at risk. It puts their families at risk. It puts our healthcare workers at risk, and really it puts all of North Carolina at risk.